Ross Bansen. We're dairy farmers in the Willamette Valley, in Monmouth, Oregon specifically. We've been organic since 2000, since my father certified the farm.
My name's John Bansen. My wife and I, Julie, that's what Double J is for. We bought the farm 34 years ago and then just recently sold it to our son Ross.
I and my wife, we have about 120 milking cows. We roughly have about 280 livestock total, so that includes heifers and calves and dry cows.
The history of our farm really probably starts with the history of our family and my grandfather. He was the first one who started a dairy farm in Ferndale, California. I also had an uncle who was a dairy farmer, and then my father moved to Oregon when I was 10 years old. So in '73, we moved to Oregon. We bought the farm down here in Monmouth, Oregon. Ross was 2 years old when we moved down. Our daughter Christine was 10 days old. The other two kids hadn't come along yet.
My father, when he moved down here, he purchased a group of cows from my grandfather. And my grandfather also had cows from his father. So you could say that our cows are from a long family line. So dating back to 50s, 40s. So they've been around for a long time, but we focus on traits for grazing, for longevity, for health. And so I think we have a superb group of cows that I can carry on now as the next generation farmer.
We started as a conventional farm. You know, I was back and forth about whether we should transition, whether we should make that switch over to organic. And then I got thinking, you know, my grandfather, he was organic. He just didn't know that's what it was called, and he didn't get paid any differently because everybody was organic at that time. There were no antibiotics. There was no hormones. I'd been back to a World Dairy Expo right after we made the transition over. And I went walking up and down the aisles of the Dairy Expo in Wisconsin and realized that this one whole aisle, I couldn't use any of the products. You know, it's not organic. Then I went down the next aisle, and then I realized I don't need to use this because I can't use the stuff up next door. You know, there's all these fixes for what you're using in the other aisle to try and keep your cows healthy and balanced, and that made no sense to me.
I have taken over the certification process from my father as being the new owner-operator. So 2025 is our first year, my first year that I actually did the certification through OTCO.
It's a matter of, it's a thing you must do to ship organic milk, so you need to figure out how to do it. So much about it is keeping records. So you just make a system where it's easy to keep records. And I did learn having to do that record keeping on a lot of the things was really helpful to running a farm.
This year, when I did the certification, the gal that certified us, shout out to Erin, she did a really good job. You know, it's challenging. I'm not gonna deny that. I think at the end of the day, you know, as much as I love paperwork, I think it's well worth it when you look down the long scope of what is possible for the market and the future of my farm.
We've always been certified by Oregon Tilth. We've always shipped milk to Organic Valley. I've done a lot of work with some of the folks at Oregon Tilth advocating for organics. It's been a really solid relationship. So Organic Valley for us has been the best thing we've ever belonged to in our lives. Pure and simple.
So it's a cooperative. So that means all the farmers are the owners and members. So the board of directors is farmer run. They pay us a fair price for our product, and that's what keeps the younger generations coming back. That's why I'm back, because we are able to achieve those fair pay prices that they set for our cooperative, and we can utilize that, keep the doors open, keep our farm, you know, the size that we want. how you take care of your land will reflect on really the animal health and soil health and also your own health. So I think that all that tied together really makes for a better product at the end the consumer gets.
So for those starting out in the certification journey, I would probably have to say, do a little homework, understand a little bit about what organic's all about. And it's really all about the prevention, because if you can prevent something, you don't need all those fixes you've had to use all the time. Learn how to not need those things that you've had to use in the conventional world. You know, how do you reduce stress? Feeding the cows what a cow is intended to eat. You know, so it does have a lot of correlation to health in any animal. What were they designed to eat? Feed them that. Feed them that a lot. Nutrition is 99% of the battle.
For all the young farmers out there, just be optimistic when it comes to the certification process. It can be a little overwhelming, but at the end of the day, to know that your farm can carry on, to know that your farm can be, you know, the size you want it, to know your farm can be the very best natural landscape you can ask for, I think this makes it worth it.
Basic principles of organics will always stand the test of time.
It has the ability to have these small farms come back, has ability to continue to pass down generations on these farms, and you know, we couldn't ask for anything better.